Good morning, my dear students of intermediate level. Today, I have changed my line. This is a class not only for the students of intermediate first year, the students of second year will also be benefited. We were talking about completing sentence, and as far as I could remember, I completed up to 3 types of conditional sentences. First conditional, second conditional, third conditional. You know that conditional sentence is a very vital issue related to completing sentence. We have some more talkings related to conditional sentence, and within a short time I will be able to complete conditional sentence. After conditional sentence, we will talk about some more important issues related to completing sentence. So my dear students, I hope you are with me and you are in Dhaka College and you are enjoying the classes conducted by some resource teachers of Dhaka College. So let us not waste a single second. Let us start with conditional sentence, a vital portion of completing sentence. I told you that conditional sentences are of 3 types. They are first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. Each of the conditionals contains 2 tenses. First conditional contains 2 tenses, second conditional contains 2 tenses, and third conditional also contains 2 tenses. In first conditional, I have told you that we will use 2 tenses, present indefinite and future indefinite. In second conditional, we always use 2 tenses, past indefinite and past conditional. I showed you the structure of past conditional in my last class, and at last we talked about third conditional, which takes 2 tenses, past perfect and perfect conditional. There is something left, and these are, you know that we use some conjunctions which are suitable for conditional sentence. There, if, in case, provided that, unless. Do you know, if you use had at the beginning of a sentence, it will also work as conditional sentence. So I need to talk about use of had in conditional sentence. The students, use of had in conditional sentence, we can use had at the beginning of a sentence. Be careful, if you use had at the beginning of a sentence, this had discharges the function of an auxiliary verb, or you can say verb. At the same time, this had carries the meaning if. So if you use had at the beginning of a sentence, this had works as a verb. At the same time, this had carries the meaning of if. Clear to you? What have I told you? If you get had at the beginning of a complex sentence, this had might be useful for 2 functions. The first one is it works as a verb, definitely. At the same time, it conveys the meaning of if. So if I say, had I a lot of time. Had I a lot of time, dear students, had I a lot of time, here had is used at the beginning of a sentence. This had is working as a verb. At the same time, it contains the meaning of if. Is it clear to you? I think so. Now let us calculate. Because of had, we have got the use of conditional sentence, because it carries the meaning if. Now let us calculate what type of tense is this. Can you please tell me the answer? What type of tense have you seen in this example? Write in the comment box. What type of tense have you seen here? Had I a lot of time? Is it past indefinite or past perfect? What do you think? Yes, thank you. Adib, you are absolutely correct. What type of tense have we used? Have we used in this sentence? Is it past indefinite or past perfect? What do you think? Niloy, you are not correct. No, 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 no. Yes, Mustafizur Rahman, you are correct. Don't say past perfect, because if you want to call this sentence perfect, past perfect, it must have to contain past participle form of the verb. Here, I have not used any past participle after had. If I say, had I got a lot of time? Look at. Now, there is a close difference between these two examples. There is a close difference. The first one is an example of past indefinite tense, and the second one is an example of past perfect tense. Why? Most of the students have a bad conception that if you get any had in a sentence, most of the students think that it's an example of past perfect tense. Is it correct? I don't think so. I had a doll. I had a doll. I had bought a doll. Look at, please. Look at these two examples. I had a doll. This is an example of past indefinite. Here, had is working as the first form of the verb, because here we have not got the past participle form of the verb. But in the second example, I had bought a ball. Here, bought is the past participle form of the verb. So, until you get a past participle form of the verb, you can't call a sentence past perfect. It will be past indefinite if you get only had. Is it clear to you? I think so. So my dear students, this is an example of past indefinite, this is an example of past perfect. So try to be very clear, try to be very clear. If you get had at the beginning of a sentence, it will work as conditional sentence, and a had related part might be either past indefinite or past perfect. If you get no verb after had, it will be past indefinite, and if you get past participle form after had, it will be past perfect. Now I have a question. In my last class, I told you that past indefinite in conditional sentence, past indefinite has relationship with past conditional. I am going to repeat. Listen to what I say. Past indefinite has a relationship with past conditional in conditional sentence, and past perfect had a relationship with perfect conditional. My dear students, listen to me very carefully. Past indefinite has a relationship with past conditional, and past perfect has relationship with perfect conditional. Okay, here we have got past indefinite with the use of had, and here we have got past perfect with the use of had. Now I can tell you the rule and regulation that I want to say. I have already taught you three conditionals: first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. Now I am going to talk about rule number 4 of conditional sentence, and it is related to had. If had related part is in past indefinite, you know that with past indefinite we have to use past conditional. Here you have to use past conditional. Okay, here what type of tense should you use after this part? Past conditional or perfect conditional? Write in the comment box. Write in the comment box. All of my students are requested to be very active in the comment box. Yes, Shubho, thank you. What type of tense should I use here to complete the sentence? Only perfect? No. Past conditional? No, Safi. Yes, thank you. Adib Alam Shubho, thank you. Afsana Ibna, thank you. Mizanur Rahman. No problem, Sujan. You are late, no problem. I have been late for 2 minutes today. Yes, perfect conditional. Okay, so if you get past indefinite in head related part, you will have to use past conditional. In case of past perfect, you will have to use perfect conditional, because in conditional tense past indefinite has relationship with past conditional and past perfect has relationship with perfect conditional. So I can use here perfect conditional. And you know, can you remember the structure of these two tenses? Past conditional maintains the structure: subject, then would, could, might, and after would, could, might you have to use the base form of the verb. For past perfect conditional you have to use the subject, then would have, could have, might have. After would have, might have, you must have to get past participle form of the verb. Okay, so I have talked about another two rules. If you get past indefinite in head related part, you will have to use past conditional, because past indefinite has relationship with past conditional. And if you get past perfect in head related part, you will have to use perfect conditional, because past perfect has relationship with perfect condition. Okay, this is all about conditional sentences. Now I'd like to give you some examples and you have to tell me the answer by yourselves. Okay, be alert, be active in the comment box with some gorgeous sentences. Okay, give me some fiery sentences. Okay, Raihan Hussain has already written 2 answers. What about others? Write down the answer here. Blah 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 blah. Here blah 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 blah. What should be the answer here? Okay, write down. Yes, we need gorgeous sentences. I need to make some fun, dear students. Whenever I go to the classroom and ask my student to give me a sentence, please tell me a sentence, all the students say, I eat rice. Okay, why do you eat rice? You should say, I eat meat in the morning. Don't say I eat rice in the morning. Say something different, say something gorgeous. Try to be different, okay? Excellent. Tanvir Sadi, excellent answer. These are the examples that we are looking for. Excellent. Khandoga Jahid Hassan. Mushfiqul Islam. Great, great, great. Mushfiq has written, I could set fire in the comment section. Thank you. Mushfiq, we need this kind of fire from you. I'll pass more time it. Oh my God. I'll write a gorgeous sentence. Excellent. You have started using your creativity. Parbon, thank you. Thank you. Today, after the class, I will check your every comment and I will reply. And if you have any question, please leave in the comment box. Please leave your question in the comment box. Today, after the class, I will check your comments. Every comment I will check. I have found just several sentences from you. I need a lot of examples. Okay. Yes, Rashidul, Rashid, Shaheen, Gaurav. Thank you. Shammojit, good, very good. Okay. I don't want to continue any more time. I don't want to spend any more time with conditional sentence. I'd like to complete conditional sentence with a question for you. Okay. Some of you had question in my first class related to zero conditional. I can still remember. Some of you wrote in the comment box that you wanted to learn zero conditional. Okay. Can you remember? I can remember. I think you have forgotten, but I haven't forgotten. So my dear students, let us talk about an example of conditional sentence. Okay, I will give you 4 options and you have to find out the most appropriate one. Okay, carry on. Why don't use quotation mark as we had before sentence? Your head. No. Don't use any quotation mark, please. I would watch Bangladesh match. You didn't watch. You missed a lot. Great. Actually, I miss you. I miss the classroom. This is an online class. I can enjoy, but a real classroom is really enjoyable. Okay, we will be lost in the classroom. Let's see when the colleges or institutions reopen. Let's wait. Okay, my dear students, I'm going to give an example of conditional sentence. I will give you 4 options and you have to select the most appropriate one. Okay. If water cools into 0 degree, it dash. Option A will freeze. Option B freezes. Option C would freeze. Option D A plus B. What should be the answer? What should be the answer? If water cools into 0 degree, it dash. Yes, Dia Disha, you are correct. Okay. A. Everybody is looking for A. Are you sure? Just 5 or 6 answers from you. I think only 10 or 15 students are with me right now. SK Shaheen, you have got A plus B, Siam. No, very sad. This is called zero conditional. In case of scientific experiment, in case of scientific issue, present indefinite requires another present indefinite, and this is called zero conditional. Okay. This is not the if water cools into 0 degree. This is an example of present indefinite tense. We have to use here either present or future. Be careful, this is a scientific issue. If water cools into 0 degree, it freezes at the same time when water cools into 0 degrees. So I should say it freezes. Most of the students are looking for will freeze. No, my dear students. It should be freezes. Zero conditional requires present indefinite and present indefinite. Don't take future indefinite, okay? Now, no, A is not the answer. Okay, present indefinite and present indefinite. Clear? No, will freeze is not the correct answer. If water cools into 0 degree, whenever the water cools into 0 degree, it instantly freezes. This is a scientific equation. Okay, you have to use here present indefinite, and this why we will call it zero conditional. Okay, yes, Rubel, you are correct. So my dear students, let us not waste a single second with conditional sentence. Let us learn something more. Okay, now stop writing in the comment box. Look at me. Actually, I have completed a lot of rules. I have completed a lot of rules related to completing sentence. Although you will say that, sir, you have only completed conditional sentence. There are the things that we need to learn for completing sentence are related to let alone. I have already completed in question number 3, that is gap filling with phrases and words. I have completed the use of as soon as. I have completed no sooner, scarcely, hardly. I have completed as if, as though. I have completed since. Okay, actually I haven't completed some of the rules and regulations related to completing sentence. So my dear students, in the meanwhile, I have already completed 50 or 60% of completing sentence, because the rules which are related to completing sentence are also related to gap filling with phrases and words. The knowledge of gap filling with phrases and words is also beneficial to the learning of completing sentence. So my dear students, I need to start a new grammatical item related to conditional sentence. Okay, now I'm going to talk about sequence of tense. Sequence of tense. My question is, sequence of tense, I'm sure most of the students are ignorant of the topic sequence of tense, but this is really important for completing sentence. My question is, what is sequence of tense, and how is sequence of tense is related to right forms of completing sentence? I'm going to give you an example of completing sentence, and I will tell you what sequence of tense is and how is sequence of tense important to completing sentence. Yes, now let's talk about sequence of tense, but before that I want to give you an example, and you are requested to give me the answer from you. Okay, give me the answer. Father told me that. Father told me that blah 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 blah. Complete the sentence. Complete the sentence as soon as possible. Father told me that blah 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 blah. Tell me the answer. I will talk about sequence of tense, but tell me the answer. Sequence of tense is related to this sentence. Okay. Yes, thank you. Father told me that blah blah blah. Okay. Okay. Mustafizur Rahman, you are absolutely wrong. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. I am sincere. No. Niloy, you are not correct. Abdurraf, not correct. You are wrong. Yes. Alamin Hassan, you are also wrong. Shambhojit, correct. Where are my other students? Write the answer. Okay, look at the board. Father told me that this is an example of past indefinite tense. Be careful. This is principal clause. Father told me this is an example of principal clause. And you know, look at the board please. This is an example of principal clause. And in this principal clause, we have used past tense. Here we have to choose our own tense in subordinate clause. But my question is, are you able to use any tense in subordinate clause if principal clause is in past tense? Are you able to use any tense in subordinate clause whenever principal clause is in past tense? Is it possible? Is it possible? What do you think? This is possible or may not be possible. This answer will be clear to us if we learn the grammar sequence of tense. Okay. Here you can use any past tenses. You can use any past tenses, dear students. You can use any kind of past tense, but you are not allowed to use present tense or future tense. You can use present tense, but it must be a universal truth or habitual fact. So, if you get past tense in principal clause, definitely subordinate clause will carry or contain past tense. Okay, I am teaching you by not giving the actual conception. Let us begin. Actually, we need to start from the beginning. Sequence. What is sequence of tense? Should be clarified by us. What is sequence of tense? Now stop writing. Listen to what I say. Sequence of tense, dear students. Father says that. Father will say that. Father said that. Look at please. Father says, father will say, father said. All of them are principal clause. Here I have used principal clause. From that we are going to use subordinate clause. Subordinate clause is being started with the help of that. Here I have to use subordinate clause. We are learning what sequence of tense is. Definitely a complex sentence, you know that a complex sentence contains two clauses. One is principal clause, another is subordinate clause. A complex sentence contains one principal clause and one subordinate clause. Be careful. I talked about this topic some 2 or 3 classes back. A complex sentence consists of one principal clause and one subordinate clause. The tense, dear students of inter first year and second year, the tense of subordinate clause, I am going to repeat. The tense of subordinate clause is always taken. The tense of subordinate clause is always taken according to the tense of principal clause. I am going to repeat, my dear students. The tense of subordinate clause depends on the tense of principal clause. That means we can use tense in subordinate clause according to the tense of principal clause. Actually, this process is called sequence of tense. Okay, so you are not allowed to use all the tenses in subordinate clause. You can take tenses in subordinate clause with the permission of the tense of principal clause. Okay, clear to you, my dear students? I am going to repeat. Principal clause takes a tense. Principal clause takes a tense, and this tense permits what type of tense will be used in subordinate clause. This process is called sequence of tense. So the definition is, now I can give you the final definition. Sequence of tense is a process. Sequence of tense is a process by which the tense of subordinate clause is determined or taken according to the tense of principal clause. Is it clear to you? The tense of subordinate clause is taken according to the tense of principal clause. Here principal clause is the boss. This principal clause will permit or give permission regarding the taking of tense in subordinate clause. This process is actually called sequence of tense. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? There are some rules and regulations of sequence of tense. I am going to tell you. Look at please. Principal clause gives permission, and with the permission of principal clause, the tense of subordinate clause is taken. Now, my dear students, be very attentive right now. I am going to tell you the rules and regulations related to sequence of tense. I gave you an example some 5 minutes back, and most of you had written wrong tenses. Okay, your answers were wrong because most of you used, that is, have used past present tense. I think present tense is not taken here. Now I am going to tell you the rules and regulations of sequence of tense. The basic thing is that the tense of subordinate clause is taken according to the tense of principal clause if principal clause is in present tense. If principal clause is in present tense, you can use all the tenses in subordinate clause. If principal clause is in present tense, we have 4 present tenses: present indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. If principal clause is in present tense, all the tenses can be used in subordinate clause. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, if principal clause is in future tense, all the tenses can be used in subordinate clause. So I can combine rule number 1 and 2. If principal clause is in present tense or future tense, you can use all the tenses in subordinate clause. Clear to you? But problem is, if principal clause is in past tense, you must have to use only past tenses in subordinate clause, and we have 6 past tenses. Look at please. If principal clause is here, father says that this is an example of present indefinite, you can use all tenses. Father will say this is an example of future tense, you can use all tenses. But look at, father said that here principal clause is in past tense. Okay, if principal clause is in past tense, you can use past indefinite. I am talking about the tense of past. I am talking about the tense of subordinate clause. as soon as the tense of principal clause is past tense. Be careful. Past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous, past conditional, perfect conditional. Okay, I have used 6 tenses: past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect continuous, past conditional, perfect conditional. You can use these 6 tenses. Another one tense can be used. There is another tense which can be used, that is present indefinite. You can use here present indefinite, and this present indefinite must be a habitual fact or a universal truth. Is it clear to you? So if you get past tense in principal clause, my dear students of intermediate first year and second year, the students of Dhaka college as well as the students of other colleges from different corners of Bangladesh, if principal clause is in past tense, you can use 7 tenses: past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect continuous, past conditional, perfect conditional, and present indefinite tense can be used. This present indefinite tense must contain universal truth or habitual fact. Okay. Now you can understand what the problem was in your example whenever I gave you the first example related to sequence of tense. Is it clear to you? So my dear students, if principal clause is in present tense, you can use all the tenses in subordinate clause. If principal clause is in future tense, you can use all the tenses in subordinate clause. But if principal clause is in past tense, you can use only past tenses in subordinate clause, but you can use another one tense, and that is present indefinite. But this subordinate clause must contain universal truth or habitual fact. Okay. Here father will say, you can use all the tenses. Father said that, you can use these tenses along with present indefinite. Clear to you? Now I can give you an example. This grammatical item is very important for university admission test. Actually, this sequence of tense is not taught by the teachers in the classroom in the level of SSC or intermediate level. But I think before coming to the class, I was thinking myself that all the time the teachers always teach you it is time, it is high time, use of wish, use of present indefinite tense, past indefinite tense, use of before after, use of as if as though, use of since, blah 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 blah. I thought in a different way that I need to teach you something different. Okay, so my dear students, this is sequence of tense. Now I want to give you an example. There are some difficult rules and regulations under sequence of tense, but it will take a lot of time. That's why I will not teach you all the issues related to sequence of tense. It will take a lot of time, but I am sure I have given you just little bit conception about sequence of tense. Now I'd like to give you, yes, university admission test, Shafi. You people should take preparation for admission test from now on. Okay, I'm sure those who are regular and attentive to studies will cut a good figure in the exam, but be careful. The most important segment of life is for the students of Bangladesh is university admission test, and for this university admission test you should attend classes in the college, because the issues and topics that the teachers teach in the classrooms are also important for university admission test. So I am talking about completing sentence which are needed for your upcoming CT2. Don't think like this. This is also important for your university admission test. This is also important for your job sector when you will complete your honors and masters level. Okay, so my dear students, I'm going to give you an example of completing sentence, and this example will be related to sequence of tense. Okay. I have told you that if principal clause is in past tense, you have to use only past tenses. There are 6 past tenses: past indefinite, continuous, past perfect, perfect continuous, past conditional, and perfect conditional. You can use one tense there, and that is present indefinite. And this present indefinite must contain universal truth or habitual fact. Okay. Okay, my dear students, Asif told Sammy that Asif told Sammy that he dashed for the SSC exam next year. This is an example related to sequence of tense, and this is an example related to completing sentence. This is an example related to right forms of verb. Okay, you can judge an example from different point of view. Okay, my dear students, this is an example of past indefinite tense in principal clause. Now take decision. What should be the answer? I am going to give you the options. I will give you 4 options. Try to select your answer. Asif told Sammy that he will sit. B. Would sit. C. Had sat. D. Sat. E. I will give you 4 options. B plus C plus D. What should be the answer here? What should be the answer? Rahat Alamin, you are absolutely brilliant. So is Muhammad Tamjid. Tariq Aziz, you are absolutely correct. Raymond, thank you. Jayed, you are not correct, my dear. Abhijit Datta, correct. Kaji Imdadul Haq, correct. Abhijit, yes. Alamin, not so good at all. Masum Billah, okay, carry on. I need some more example. I need some more answers from you. Be active in the comment box with your answer. Okay. Nilo, you are not correct, my dear. Okay, look at please. Let us calculate. Asif told Sammy. This is an example of past tense. I have already told you that if you get past tense in principal class, you must have to take past tenses. Here, this one is past perfect, this one is past perfect, this one is past perfect. We have 3 past perfect tenses, but sorry, all the tenses are not used here, will not be used here, because Now I'm going to tell you why option E is not the answer. Why? Actually, I have given you the question without teaching you. Sorry, my dear students. I apologize. If principal clause is in past tense, definitely subordinate clause will be past tenses. But if you get the use of next, which indicates time, be careful. If you get past tense in principal clause and time indicating next in subordinate clause, only would should be used here. Only. Clear to you, my dear students? If you get according to sequence of tense, you can use 6 tense and in subordinate clause if principal clause is in past tense. But only one thing, that is would, will be used in subordinate clause if you get time indicating next in subordinate clause. You can't take had set, you can take set, that's why you can't take this one, you can't take this one. Only would is the correct answer. Clear to you? These are funny grammatical items, okay? So if you get the use of time indicating next in subordinate clause and you have got past tense in principal clause, you just have to take would. If this part next year, if there was no use of next year, Asif told Sami that he dash for the SSC exam. If this part was not there, definitely E would be the correct answer. Okay. So my dear students, we have talked about sequence of tense. Okay. There is another rule related to sequence of tense, and with this rule I will come to an end regarding today's class. I will conduct another class on completing sentence. So up to this part I have taught you, if principal clause is in present tense, you can use all the tenses in subordinate clause, and if you get future tense in principal clause, you are allowed to use all the tenses in subordinate clause. If you get past tense in principal clause, you are allowed to use only past tenses, and there are 6 tenses that can be used in subordinate clause as soon as the tense in principal clause is in past tense. You can use only present indefinite in this case if this present indefinite tense is a habitual fact or universal truth. Clear to you? Now I will talk about another rule related to sequence of tense, and sequence of tense is the vital issue of completing sentence. Now I'd like to talk about another rule of conditions, sequence of tense, and it is related to when. Most of my students will make mistakes in this example. Okay, I will not tell you the rule and regulation at first. I will give you the problem. You have to try to give me the solution. If you fail to give me the perfect answer, I will be happy, because those who will make mistakes will get a chance to learn. Okay, man learns through mistakes, don't forget. I will phone you when she dash the news. Option A, passes. Option B, will pass, option C. Would pass, option D. A plus B. What should be the answer here? What should be the answer? I will phone you when she dashed the news. Passes, will pass, would pass. Apsana Ibnath B. Kaushik D. Anik Roy B. Oh my god, Deepika Sana A plus B. Wow, different answers from different students. Great. That means some of you have problem related to the use of when. Tarekazi Dantar, this time you are not correct. Sujan, you are confused. No problem. I am there for you. Okay, my dear students. Okay, carry on, carry on, carry on. Give me some more answers from you. Oh my god, we have spent a lot of time here. We have already passed 50 or 51 minutes. Oh my god, I will talk about not more than 2 minutes. Okay, look at the answer is A. Why? Be careful, I will phone you. This is an exam. This is an event of future tense. She dashed the news. This is also an example of future tense. I will phone you when she dashed the news. My dear students, when two events of future tense. Look at me, my dear students. When two events of future tense are connected with the help of when. With the help of when. One tense will be future indefinite and another tense will be present indefinite. Okay. Another tense will be present indefinite. And here subordinate clause will be present indefinite and principal clause will be future indefinite. So if you get two events which are going to take place in future, must not be in future tense. One tense will be in future indefinite and another one will be in present indefinite. So my dear students, I have talked a lot of issues in gap filling with phrases and words, and all the issues are really important for completing sentence. So try to re-enjoy the classes of gap filling with phrases and words, and the classes are there. Visit the website of Dhaka College. And I have already completed conditional sentence. I have already completed sequence of tenses. In my next class, I will talk about some more rules and regulations related to completing sentence. I think you will stay with me and you will stay at Dhaka College and you will enjoy the classes of Dhaka College. So my dear students, thank you for being with me. I hope to see you very soon. Goodbye. All the best.